What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. We got some really exciting stuff that I want to show you today, and I hope you're staying warm because we're supposed to be at least up here in the Northwest getting a potential blizzard and heavy winter storm. So I'm trying to get this video out before that thing hits. We had intentions on driving this bad boy today. I don't think that's gonna happen because there's salt all over the front of the door now. This car's not actually rust-free right now, and I really would like to keep it that way. So we'll drive it in the future. I'll try and clean it up a little bit. But for today, we're gonna go over some parts that came on in, and I have a super exciting new drop that I wanna show you guys super fast. So, as you guys know, I've had my 68 Mustang for I think about 9 years now, and we actually have its first shirt for the channel. So, as you know, we picked the Barra as the motor, and so now we have the Barra being put into the 68, and it's kind of a whole like really cool shop theme. It's got like some like E35 tanks in the back. We got an Angus auto banner, and then 144 was super cool, and they put their own banner on the shirt as well. They put theirs in blue, which is super cool because it stands out of everything else. And there's less, the red isn't too much either. It's super awesome. It's probably my favorite design that we've had so far. These are gonna go quick, so you need to head on over and pick these up. Remember, going over to angusauto.com. On top of that, everything that was on the site too for shirts, I actually dropped the price on down. And on top of that, I dropped the shirt for the Junk Cars one for the Panda E36 design. I lowered that down a little bit less than the other ones too, because we're not gonna be using that car anymore. So if you want to, go on over and pick them up because I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with them. They'll stay on the site, but I mean, you know, it's a cheaper shirt if you wanna support the channel. So I appreciate that if you wanna head on over and do that. But yeah, the Mustang shirt, absolute fire. You guys need to get this. I don't know how long this is gonna last. I don't know when we're gonna be able to restock, but I'd love it if you head on over and do that. Now, let's get into today's, I guess, agenda. Yeah, I was gonna drive the car today, but I don't really wanna get it all rusty. So, we have a ton of parts on this cart, actually for the JZ to the E36 swap. So, we'll start off by, one of the things that I forgot to order was, we have the ZF with the adapter plate to the 2JZ. Now, one of the things that I kind of forgot was, let me flip this around. So one of the parts that we do want to have on here is we do have the clutch master cylinder, which is actually on the side here, and it does have the hard line, but I don't know how old this thing is. I don't know what the condition is. So I wanted to replace it. Now, we did have the clutch fork, which I think, where's a good spot to look at that? I don't really want to flip this thing up, but basically it's sitting on inside there. Now, we have a new one of those. We have a new one of this, the master cylinders. But what I didn't have was, I didn't have a throwout bearing. That was a really bad motion to put by my face. But I didn't have the throwout bearing, and I was having a hard time finding it. Well, my new good friends over at Bimmer World actually sent on over everything brand new. They really hooked it up. This stuff was here literally the next day in shipping, and I already have a new key for this car on the way too. It's gonna be here today, so I'm hoping I can get this video out and get there because I don't know if I have to sign for it. But anyways, yeah, they sent over some stickers. They sent over basically all the new parts, the new guide for the actual spline and the clutch, not the clutch, but the throwout bearing. Again, I did that motion, and I'm pumped about it because that was the one part that we didn't have. Because honestly, one of the videos that I had planned was to do that and put it onto the JZ. However, I didn't want to put it on there and then have to take it all off again because that's just stupid. Not that that transmission's heavy at all, but a transmission onto an engine, doing it more than once if you don't have to, it's not a very smart thing. Now, one of the cool things was Drift HQ has been a huge partner on this project, and what they've done is I pretty much have every single part to get it in this car and running. Now, I don't quite want to just shove it in the car yet because I've actually been enjoying like having the car driving. Everything works on the car. The only thing is the wipers did stop working the day I bought the car, but everything else great. Windows work. Again, windows don't ever work on a BMW. That's, well, okay, old BMWs, but like that's absolutely crazy. I'm super happy with this purchase. I love this 36. All right, so really quickly guys, I'm gonna lay everything out and we'll start talking about some of the parts that I have. So just give me 1 second. Okay, so one of the cool things that I picked up was, I'm actually gonna move this over here. So these are actually, I'll show you guys these first. So this is actually the M3 style mirrors for the 36. I'm really excited to put these on here. Now the car is white, so these are gonna be like black unpainted, but look at how cool these are. These are super sick. Like, I cannot wait to put these on the 36. Of course, I just dropped the bag on the ground and now I have to put this back in. So give me a second to do that. Sorry guys, again, I'm filming by myself today, so bear with me with the camera. But yeah, those are super sick. I cannot wait to put those on there. Now, another thing that I got too, let me move this over here. I actually have the MPI LZ wheels. I think these are some of the, just the coolest wheels that you can get. Now, I don't know if you guys have maybe probably seen these in his own car or other people's cars, but it's got the little happy face or sad face design, which I think Jimmy Oaks actually made when they were in college. Now, what's cool is this is actually a suede wheel, which I think is going to go really well with my plans for this car. Now, I have a suede one, and I actually got a leather one. The leather one I think is going to go in the 68 is what I'm kind of leaning towards. So I think that's going to be really cool. Let me close this real quick. And I want to kind of keep this car kind of like a street, just sleeper-esque looking. I wanted to kind of look like the Unicorn. I don't know how I'm going to be able to make it look like a sleeper and the Unicorn at the same time. We'll do our best, but I want this to kind of be like a street car that I can put on a track of some sort, and it's just going to wipe the floor with pretty much anything in terms of power. Which I guess wouldn't make sense because I have a power goal for this, but we'll get into that once we actually start building it. Now, the wheel I think is going to look good in the 36 because this is basically just going to be a race car design. Now, some of the really cool parts that I got that are going to make this build a lot more like possible is I'm not running this 2JZ on a stock ECU. There's just no way I'm going to do that. So what I did is I basically went over to Drift HQ and I picked up basically one of my dream ECUs and a couple parts for it. So we actually have a Link ECU G4X Fury X, and I am super pumped to have this. This is going to let me do so many different things with the 2J. Basically, I'm not going to have to worry about the stock ECU either pulling timing or doing anything that's going to cause detonation on it. This is going to be super safe. I can run off any fuel. It's also got a really good, like, I'm a beginner when it comes to operating these, but it's got a really good interface to help me with that. On top of that, there's just a bunch of aftermarket support. There's tons of support in the what would the word be, community, basically, for everything, just to operate this. So I'm really pumped on that. This was one of the like I have to have items for this build. Now, one of the other cool things it comes with, or I ordered, was a boost control solenoid. I gotta be able to control my boost if it goes over, you know, we're gonna have bad things happen. So made sure that I picked up, you know, a Link one, so it's a part that I can trust. We also have a cam lambda sensor, which is gonna help out when we have a harness on order for this thing. I believe it's still being made. I think it'll be here in the next week or two. That's okay though, because we still have a bunch of other parts that we need to take care of while we're doing this. We have our 2 fuel pumps, because we're gonna run duals on here to make sure we got plenty of fuel when we're running this swap. Now, the other part that I have is we actually have the pigtails for these pumps. And what's cool is, let me take some of this stuff out. Rally Road actually have, oh, also all these parts, with the exception of the parts for the transmission that I just showed, are all from Drift HQ. So please go over and show them some love. We actually have, it's a billet aluminum upper cap for the gas tank. And what's sick is it has all these pieces. I'm not gonna unwrap the whole thing. Oh, this one's already nice. Okay. So we have basically this little hanger style clamp that'll hold both the pumps, and we'll be able to have plenty of fuel. Because if you don't know, the E36 ones are plastic. Most cars are actually plastic, but the way this one's designed, there's not a whole lot of options. At least it doesn't seem that way on the aftermarket to basically change that style unless you were to go to a straight fuel cell, which I don't really want to do with this car because this isn't, I'm not a good enough driver to want to rip this whole car apart, turn it into basically a pro spec FD level car, and then go to the track and try and control. I mean, even putting the JZ in there with 400 horsepower, that's still a little bit of power for beginning, but I mean, again, the car's running right now. That's one reason I want to get it. This thing has 170 horsepower right now, and it weighs nothing. So it's fun as can be to drive. Now, excuse me. One of the cool parts, let me see if I can get this out with one hand. These are the injectors. So yeah, we got Fuel Tech, 170 pound an hour O-ring injectors. All right, sorry about that, guys. I was really trying to do it with one hand, and the bag was sealed, and there was no way I was doing it with one hand. So we actually have our 170 pound Fuel Tech injectors. These were what was recommended to me. I wasn't super sure on what injectors to run. These supposedly will also be able to completely adapt into, I've had a radium fuel rail for the intake manifold of the JZ for quite a while now. I was slowly collecting as many parts as I could before the channel. Now, I hope that'll adapt. We're still gonna run these. I'm totally fine with trying them. They just weren't ones I thought they were safe, so I'm actually excited to try them. Now, okay, we're just leave it like that because I'm going right. So one of the other cool things is we did get a PRP coil pack kit. If you don't know, 2JZs, I think any of them, I don't know if the Supra non-VVTi 2J actually runs this, but they actually run wasted spark, I guess is the term. So basically there's one coil back per 2 spark plugs for the straight 6. You'll have 3 coil packs. So we now have, these are actually Hitachi ones. Here, these are Hitachi ones. So now each cylinder will have its own, and they come with their own, I guess it's like a boot that'll bolt down with their bracket here. PRP makes some absolutely amazing products. So if you haven't checked out their site, you definitely should. All this stuff is made in Australia, to the best of my knowledge. I mean, this is all billet aluminum and anodized black. It looks absolutely amazing. Now, I don't know if this will show up on camera, but they have a little Easter egg. Don't know if you can see right there, but there's a little, you know what, on the coil pack bracket. I didn't know that until I started looking at it, so that's pretty cool. Well, it's a cool little, you know what I mean. I'm not gonna get into it. Anyways, so we also have, I'm trying to think, oh, so one thing I tried to do when I was filming the other day was I did not like the shifter in this car. I was trying really hard to get the thing in reverse. It kept fighting me every step of the way. And so I actually, Drift HQ is super, super chill, and they actually overnighted me a PMC style shifter, which is cool because we have a PMC style adapter. So, you know, we're buying the same parts, which is super awesome. This thing now goes through all the gears. I don't have to put it in second before I go into first. It'll actually go in reverse. I'm hoping you guys can see it. This is super, super cool though. So basically it's just this clamp style. So one clamp goes up from the, not clamp, but it's basically a ring that has these 6 bolts, and it bolts this up and sandwiches on the tunnel. And then you just connect the arm. This is just awesome. So I can actually drive this car. I can actually enjoy it. It definitely kicks out. This thing is already pretty set up. We'll go over more of that in the video. Obviously, I already explained I can't drive it right now. Now, the seat is an NRG one. It's not bad. It's a little big for me. As you guys probably remember me explaining, the guy I bought it from was like 6'5". I couldn't even test drive the car when I bought it. So the guy took me out and took me for a rip basically in it. Absolutely amazing. Super fun. And I moved the seat up a little bit. It still needs to go up probably another two holes on the bracket. I can't remember what bracket it has. I think it has the Garagistic floor mounted brackets and then NRG seat brackets, which is really cool. Now, one of the things this car doesn't have is it doesn't have a hydro. So I want to kind of maybe play with the stock handbrake a little bit because apparently it's really set up, but I also don't want to beat on it because I do want to streak drive this car. So I don't want to just beat on the stock handbrake and then I try and go park it one time and actually need it and it doesn't work. So I think what we'll do is we will try and put a hydraulic handbrake in this car. I don't know which ones are like really good ones. I need to do some more research on it because some of the ones I thought were really good, there's better ones out there now. So I need to do some research on what I think is good. So we'll go into that. But yeah, other than that, I can't think of anything else that we have parts wise that I haven't gone over yet. I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah, because we have the mounts. One of the parts that I have had for a long time that we're not going to put in this car, but I actually have, I guess I can show you guys it. I actually have a Tilton floor mounted pedal set, which I think we're going to put in the 68, just because I don't like how thin and paper mache the firewall feels. So I think floor mounted pedals might be the way to go on this. Now, if we do the floor mounted pedals and we do what I'm talking about, this is not going to be a sleeper. I think by what I mean by sleeper is it's going to have a motor in there that no one expects, which is kind of the sleeper vibe, but it's going to look crazy. And we're going to have an Australian 4-liter straight six in there with a big ass turbo. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, I don't know if you guys can see or have seen, but like we've got the parts for basically the transmission to adapt into the adapter and the engine. We've got the ECU, we've got the fuel pump, we got the fuel pump hanger, we've got the fuel injectors, we got a new steering wheel, we got style with the new mirrors, we've got a new angle kit, which this does have an angle kit on there currently. We'll probably put this on later because these are okay, so long story short, these are 5x120. Most of these BMWs this generation have kind of a hard time to find wheels. So I think what I want to do is I want to wait to put this on because I want to put the 5x114 hubs on. So I'll have to press on some new bearings and do that. And that way I'll be able to find wheels easier. Now back to the whole layout. We do have the BC Racing coilovers. I can't remember what brands. I think it's Max Speed or Max PP rods is what they're called on here. I don't know why they're called that. That's just what he told me. Anyways, then we do have the clutch adapter, the actual clutch and flywheel and everything to bolt the transmission onto the engine. We also have the transmission cross member. We have the motor mounts. Oh, and also this car has Condor speed transmission mounts and engine mounts. And it's already got solid subframe bushing. So this car is set up. Like there's nothing, truthfully, besides like maybe a few parts left for the actual JZ for things that I want. There's not really, I mean, besides getting the turbo drain situation, and then maybe one thing I want to talk about too is I might do the head just to do some insurance. It'll cost more money, but that way I know this motor is going to last for pretty much ever because the bottom end these bottom ends don't really need anything for that power level. The head, because basically you have your valve springs, those are kind of consumables. This engine's like as old as this car. I mean, it's almost 30 years old. The car is 31 years old. So it would be some good insurance. But anyways, like there's not a whole lot of parts left to get this thing in the car and running. I don't have a starter. Well, okay, I do have a 2JZ starter that's been sitting, but it's off another motor and it's been transported 4 or 5 times and things like 25 to 30 years old. So I don't know if we'll use that one. I might just try and get a remanufactured one or get one at AutoZone. We'll see. But yeah, everything's pretty close to, we could do the swap is basically what I'm getting at. So I'm really pumped about it. I can't think of anything else that I want to show you guys. I just wanted to share you guys that we have tons of parts ready to go. We're kind of waiting on the harness, and then I do have a Chase Bays E36. I think JZ. It's a specific JZ swap radiator on the way. I don't have an intercooler. That is the one thing I don't have. I'm talking to one company that I definitely want to do it with. They've been super awesome with it. I'm just not quite ready to pull the trigger yet. I mean, I just showed you guys all those parts. You can only imagine how much money I just spent. But hey, I want to build this to where I cry once, I can enjoy the car for years to come. So I'm pumped on everything. I'm super happy with how this is going. Thank you guys so much. It means everything that I'm actually able to do this on the side, and it feels like my dream is starting to come true. Now, before we close out this video, do not forget, you guys have to head on over and pick up the new Mustang Barra t-shirt over there. Remember, everything on the shirt side and hat side, prices have dropped. You know, get on over there and please go ahead and pick up some of the merch and support the channel. It means the world. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button. I appreciate everything you guys have done. Peace.